Alright gang, fun TinkerCAD tutorial coming your way. You can see a very interesting shape on your screen right now. Its true glory is revealed if I orbit and look at the bottom of this thing, and you will see the awesome term shop rocks. Now it's backwards though, or it's a mirror image, because what this is, it's a stamp. Put it in some ink, go put it on your buddy's forehead, and your buddy's forehead would say shop rocks. Kind of a cool little trick. And notice that it's handwritten as well, so fun one. Follow along. Alright, starts with a little bit of arts and crafts. I grabbed a piece of paper, and in my best penmanship, I wrote shop rocks on it. I wanted to have a nice dark line, and then I took this picture, and I took a photo of it on my phone. And then I emailed that to myself, so I had that JPEG file. Now the JPEG file is no good to us in TinkerCAD. TinkerCAD wants an SVG file, a scalable vector graphic. And in order to do that, we could open up Inkscape if you have Inkscape on your computer, but we can also do it with a bunch of different online services. I found one that I've been liking. It's called Online Convert. When you first get there, if you just type in Online Convert, there's a little dash in there too, Online Convert, and there's all these different things that you can convert to different files. We're working with the image converter. So I will open up the little pull down menu, and it says convert to SVG. That's what I'm looking for. So convert to SVG. And then it just says drag and drop your files here. I will take my shop rocks JPEG that I emailed to myself from the picture I took from my phone. And by the way, feel free to write whatever you want. You don't have to write shop rocks. Just make sure it's nice, dark, bold lines. So I drag that on here, and then just wait a few seconds here. And it's right now, it's uploading it. And now we're converting it. It's all done converting. I will download it. You can see it pops up down there, and I am ready to go. Back in TinkerCAD. I am going to pull my example stamp off to the side so we have a clear work plane to work on. And now I need to import that SVG file. So I'll come up here, I'll say import. And it says, drag and drop your file. So I'll take my SVG file and I will drop it in. This import box pops up. It says that my image is a little too big. That's alright, I can zoom it down quite a bit. You'll probably have to do this with yours as well. So instead of a scale of 100, I'm going to put this in at, I don't know, let's just try 10%. What we're trying to do is get these numbers down here less than 1,000. My length and my width less than 1,000. And they are definitely less than that. So I'll say import. And you can see it's importing down there. Alright, after a few seconds it pops up, and you can see my shop's rocks. It's a little big. I guess my 10% wasn't quite the right guess. So let me zoom out a little bit. And I will select my shop rocks text, and I will make it a little bit smaller. And this one, normally I tell you to hold down shift to lock the proportions. This one we could play around, and if you wanted to make it skinny or fat or whatever, feel free. The size I'm looking for is somewhere under 50 millimeters in both directions. So that's looking kind of cool right there. So 43 by 35, that'll work. All right, and then I will drag it over here into the center of my work plane and zoom in a little bit. All right, it's a little too tall right now for what I want to do, so I'm going to click on this gray handlebar that controls the Z-axis height, and I'm going to bring that down to, like, say 4 millimeters right now. All right, looking pretty good. I got my nice text. I think that is going to make a cool stamp. Now we need to make kind of the housing, the outside of the stamp. Best way to do that is to go get yourself a tube. So over here in the basic shapes menu, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And somewhere in here is a tube. So I'll click on the tube and I'll bring that in. I like to do this one from the top view. I also like to change this, oh wait, nope, it's already set. You can change it from perspective view, where there's still a little bit of an angle to it, to orthographic view, which is just kind of flat. Sometimes I like looking at it, just from straight up above, and that's what I want to do here. I'm going to take my tube and I'm going to drag it out until it's a little bit bigger than my text. Right now the wall thickness is a little too thick. Just the tube it's too thick. So I'm going to take this wall thickness slider over here. I'm going to bring that down until it looks about right. Looks like 0.62 is what's working for me. Just trying to get a skinny little oval there. And it's looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit bigger. All right, I like it. It's kind of nicely framing my text. Now when I orbit and I kind of move to the side, I can see that my tube is a little too tall. I want to click on the gray handlebar, the Z slider there, and instead of 10 millimeters, let's go for 2. So my text is 4 millimeters, and my kind of perimeter tube here is 2 millimeters high, on the Z axis. All right, next step, I want to grab a straight up cylinder right there, top of the basic shapes menu, and bring that in. And now to size this thing properly, I want to copy the measurements from the tube that I just did. So I'm going to click on the tube, and then on the little gray handlebar, I'll hover over that, and it says it is 66 by 51. All right, so make a mental note, 66 by 51. Your numbers might be a little bit different. I click back on my new cylinder here. I will say 66 by 51. And now that should be exactly the same height as my tube. I'm sorry, the same length and width as my tube. My height on this one, I think, let's see, I did 2 for the tube, 4 for the letters. I think I will go 6. For the height. All right, now I need to align these objects. I'm going to select everything on my screen. The align command. I'm going to align them on the X and on the Y axis. So now I have these 3 objects going to stack together. My next move, I want to make sure nothing is selected. I want to click off, and then I'm going to click just on that top object, that top cylinder. It's very important though that you click off and then come back to it. And now I'm going to take this top cylinder and I want to just move it up just a little bit. So I'm moving it, I'm not changing its size. So I'm not grabbing the gray handlebar here, I'm grabbing the black cone. I'm going to pop that up 2 millimeters. So I'm just going to drag straight up. And you can see kind of in the top right corner there, it says 2, as in I've moved it up 2 millimeters. And now when I orbit and look at the bottom of this thing, you can see my stamp is coming together. Now I could actually stop here at this point. It is nice though to put a little handle on top of it. So let me show you one other trick here. I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to come over to the shapes command here. I'm going to pull down this menu, and instead of working with the basic shapes this time, I'm going to come down to the shape generators, which are really fun things. If you haven't clicked through all the different things in this pull down menu, but particularly the shape generators, you definitely got to do it. It's pretty cool stuff. And I'm going to click on all. So there's a whole bunch of things down here. In fact, if I scroll down a little bit, you can see there's pages and pages of it, brick walls and maps of different things. If I wanted to have a stamp of Italy or something, I could do that. There's so many cool things in here. I think the one I'm looking for, though, I believe it is on like the 7th page. Yeah, look at all these cool things, and all of them, like the snowflakes and stuff, they all have these values that you can change to change their size or how many points they have. It's pretty cool stuff. But I'm looking for, I think it's the 7th tab there. Yep, there it is right there. It's a puller. Kind of a cool little handle thing. So I'm going to click on the puller, and I'm going to bring that in. This is going to give me that true kind of stamp look. So I need to move this puller on top of this stamp. The easiest way to do that is to actually move the work plane. So I'm going to click on the work plane tool up here, and I'm going to hover on top of my shape. And now you can see my work plane has changed colors. But also if I kind of orbit around, you can see it's now on top. The work plane is on top of the stamp. Now my puller is still down low, so let me click on the puller. I could pull this up and figure out the math. I think, what was that, probably 6 millimeters high. I could pull it up, but a quick shortcut for you, you hit the letter D, and it just pops it up to that work plane. All right, now just for fun, I'll put that work plane back where it belongs. So I'll click the work plane command again, and I'll click just kind of down where the work plane normally was. You can see my puller is kind of hovering a little bit here. So with my puller selected, I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to select just the top cylinder there. So I have those two objects selected. I'm going to orbit a little bit here so we can see what's going on better. And I'm going to align these. So I'll hit the align command and align them. Oh, so you know what? I think I want to do this with all of the objects selected. So let me drag a big box over everything and align. And I'm going to align it on the X and on the Y axis. There you go. Now I could 3D print it like this. That would be no problem. However, I could get a little bit better 3D print if I were to actually do these separately. And then I could take this guy, the stamp part, and I could actually print it. I'm going to change that to, I'm going to flip it over. So flip it over 180 degrees. Oh, because I didn't have everything selected. So flip this thing over 180 degrees and print it like that, and I could actually print these separately and just put a little hot glue or something on them. It would print a little bit better upside down like that. Alright, hey, hope you enjoyed doing the handwritten stamp.